Why veterinary clinic?
The pain point I had experienced was in the vet clinic. So only Saturdays and Sundays is when you can technically go to a vet clinic for a non-emergency.
What's after that? So you got Girish on board, five doctors on board, and Dr. Paul's brand was set. And how easy was it to find a space in Indiranagar?
See, finding space was not difficult because I was from Cult, have good network of property consultants in Bangalore, Hyderabad, etc. But what was difficult was we wanted our brand to be very homely.
Yeah.
So that means we thought if we can set up in a house, something like this where you are operating out of, it would be really, really cool.
But will that be visible to the pet parents setting up in the house?
I mean, our metrics to finalize a site was slightly different. We wanted to anchor on more on convenience and look and feel than the visibility overall. So we didn't want to be a high street brand because
that was my next question. Indiranagar is such an expensive area.
Yeah, and in any market that we are in right now, we are not on the high street. We are just one lane off high street because that's where you can stop your car, get the pet out comfortably. There is place to park. All of these, right? Otherwise it just becomes difficult to park your car somewhere, bring the pet out, and walk on a busy high street road. So we didn't want to be high street.
Okay.
So the moment we didn't want to be in high street and wanted a homely setup, our options were very limited because very few buildings have a commercial permission. A lot of people operate out of houses, but we didn't want to do it as a chain from the word go because we wanted it to be compliant to begin with. Okay. So we were lucky, on the double road, which goes from 100 feet to 11. Oh. There is a park on one side. So because of the park, on the whatever houses on the service road have been granted a commercial permission by BBMP. So, and at that point of time, one house became vacant. So it's like right time and right place coming together. So we got onto a beautiful setup in Indiranagar.
Is there any regulations for setting up a veterinary hospital?
I mean, they're far less stringent compared to what it needs for a human. We were also surprised, right? You just need the basic licenses that you need to operate from like a shops and establishment because you're employing people, a trade license because you're running some form of trade. Plus, one thing that's different is you need a biomedical license because you will deal with biomedical waste, all of that. So you need a license from PCB. Plus, your doctors need to be registered with either a Veterinary Council of India or with the Karnataka Veterinary Council, one of them, to practice. But otherwise, we took human as a parallel. Human clinic needs a lot more permissions compared to a veterinary clinic. We were surprised by it. And most we've realized is most compliances related to veterinary, it can be in service, food, packaging, medicines, are very, very hazy. Right? Very hazy. Nobody holds you accountable. You can put whatever in a packet and put whatever on the label of the packet. There's no regulation about it. And there are now people selling supplements, medicines, which are not even tested.
Human grade, homemade.
Yeah, everything writes the same label, right? Everything says organic, human grade, tested by vets, designed by vets, all of that. But what's there inside, nobody has a certificate also of getting it tested. Everybody says we've done clinical trials. Where did you do? In a shelter nearby, right? So obviously, most dogs love food. You give whatever to them, they'll eat.
It.
Right? What are you testing? Palatability. Nothing beyond that. Unfortunate, but yeah, I hope it changes.
So when was the first clinic open? Which month?
July 27th is when we launched. 28th July 2024 is when our first appointment had happened.
Wow. And how did you get your first customer?
Fortunately, when we launched our first clinic, we had Girish, Archana, Hitesh on board. So they had their own set of customers who were already going to them. So it was through them where our first set of client base came in. But when people came in, they have seen how we are different, right? How the look and feel.
How are you different?
Yeah. So we are everything under one roof. So we say everything related to pet care, be it you want to get a complicated surgery done or an advanced diagnostics done, or you need a medicine, or you want to get a spa bath or a grooming done, right? Or buy a toy or a treat.
Nice.
Everything is available under one roof.
Did you solve the problem of the waiting area?
Yes. Second thing, our spaces are very, very well thought through and aesthetically designed, right? We have separate waiting areas for dogs and cats. We don't have one waiting area, we have two. So dogs separate, cats separate. Our waiting areas have water bowls while they wait. It's not a bowl that's kept. So water bowl, clean. So we use Bisleri water for every pet that comes in, right? The same water that our staff drinks is the same water that's given to pet parents, is the same water that's given to dogs.
Wow.
Right? So we have clean water bowls that are kept right in the waiting area with there. And you have hooks where you can leash your pet on while you have to go do billing. So that's there.
Wow. And where did you get this inspiration from? Did you see any other clinic doing that?
So we've taken inspiration from some of the Western chains.
Nice.
Right? Small Door Vet was a huge inspiration for us.
Did you visit those?
No, not really. At that point of time, our budget was limited. So we.
Where is this clinic?
So this is basically based out of Europe and US. Next Door Vet, Small Door Animals, all of these chains is what we have taken as an inspiration. We followed a lot of their content on Insta to understand what they are kind of trying to build.
Fantastic.
That was there. Plus our own, like we were customers ourselves, right? Both me and Udit are pet parents. So we always can put ourselves in a customer's shoes to understand, right? Like Choco had a hip issue. Ram, who is Udit's dog, has a cardiac issue. So our visits to vet were very frequent. So we know what does a customer need and feel. So, we used to go with bunch of files, right? I used to take Choco's 3 X-rays plus blood reports and all of that every time I used to go. Like, with Choco being held in one where Choco is pulling and then reports in other hand. So we said, dear, why do I need to carry reports? Why can't tech do it for me? Right?
Awesome.
If I lose a report, it's gone. It happened to me, right? I had for pets, you get a booklet, right? With a vaccination record and all that. So we were going to Europe. We've put Choco in boarding and we gave a vaccination booklet also to them because Choco was due for vaccination in a week's time. So they said, we'll take care of the vaccination. You leave it. We came back, book was missing.
You lost all the records?
We lost all the. Fortunately, we had the pictures. Like my wife has a thing of clicking pictures for everything. So we had pictures, but the book was lost. Now, where do I have records? Nowhere. Everything of Choco's was in that, right? Every prescription that was written when Choco was first diagnosed until Choco was almost 2 years of age was always in that. So we're like, this is big pain point. And losing books, losing records can happen to anyone, right? People lose passports, so they can lose a vaccination booklet. So we said, we should be tech enabled. So that's one where again we are slightly different from everybody else. We're fully tech enabled. You don't need to carry anything when you come to Dr.
Have you reduced the waiting time?
We have 0 waiting time right now if you book an appointment and come on time.
Wow.
Right? We always say people, please book an appointment. And please come.
How do they book an appointment?
So they either can call us on our clinic numbers, or we have an app and website. They can go there and book it on their own. Or we have a telecalling team, the marketing team, where they can call and book. So slots are like usual vets take a 10 to 15 minute appointment. We take a 30-minute appointment so that we give full quality of how do we do consults are very different from what is a market practice, right? When you go to any vet, right, with saying that, okay, my pet has a skin issue, they'll see, okay, the pet has a skin issue, you need to do this, prescribe this test, done. We're not that. Whatever the issue is, we have a 8-point checklist where a pet is thoroughly checked from like head to toe to tail. The issue might be gut, issue might be skin, but your legs are checked, your tail is checked, your nose is checked, your eyes are checked, everything is checked.
The pet parents are okay with it?
Because most pet parents don't know where the issue is also, right? So if it's superficial, it's visible, skin is visible, but things like, okay, there is a cataract developing in the eye. Most pet parents might not know until it's fully developed, right? Dehydration, nose is a good indicator. Most pet parents might not know, but there are some set of informed pet parents who know everything. But there is a huge lot of pet parents who have become first-time pet parents after COVID, right? Who are not well aware of all of these things, right? And when you spend 10 minutes to explain fully about what's happening in your pet body, again, obviously we can't detect if something's wrong with the liver or a kidney unless you do a blood work. But at least the full checkup that you do for 10 minutes gives them that confidence. Okay, simple things like putting a stat over a heart to check how the heart is behaving. Lot of times we figure out there is something wrong with heart during a basic stat check. A lot of people don't do it. I've experienced it fussing. Like when I go for a hip check, it's always the hip that's checked and sent. Who knows? There might be something wrong with the heart. So that is again how we're different. So we spend 30 minutes in every consult doing a full body check and then coming and addressing that issue.
That's one time, right? The full body check happens one time.
No, every time you come in.
Every
it's not for a follow-up. See, it's not for a follow-up. But if you come in like 2 months later, we do it again, right? And the third place where we are different from everybody is we have no revenue targets for our doctors. Our doctors have zero revenue targets. We don't even track like how much revenue.
How are you answering your investors then?
See, for us, it's unfortunately we very lucky we got investors who believe in a long-term vision, right?
Nice.
Like both the investors, Centurati, are very understanding. They believe that this is built on trust. Manu is a pet parent himself, so
nice.
that we were lucky on that. For us, it's very clear. We don't need to optimize on AOV, right? If you are a pet parent who is walking into Dr. Paws, I don't have to make more money on your visit, right? If I give you good service and build the trust, you'll come 10 more times. This thing is LTV will come in, right? All you need to do is do things rightly. So for our doctors from day zero, we were very clear they don't have a variable pay. Even the doctors who were getting X plus Y in their previous roles, X fixed and Y, we said, okay, we will consider X plus Y as your fixed and give a hike on this because you're joining us and your salary is fixed with us. It's not variable. Right. And we, on a monthly basis, I don't even know how much revenue Girish is getting because it starts with me, right? If I start looking at the numbers, it goes through and then it just says, okay, Girish is bringing this much, Archana is bringing that much. So I made it a point, I'll not look at doctor level numbers. Numbers are important, clinic level revenue is important. We need to understand what's happening. We look at, obviously we are a startup, we look at all the metrics, but those are not at a doctor level, right? And our friend desk has a target, but what target they have is on like customer experience. So their incentives are based on 3 things. One is overall clinic audit, right? How well you're maintaining the clinic. So we do 2 surprise audits every month for every clinic, from every room to everything. So their marks get deducted and their incentives get dogged if clinic is not maintained. We have SOPs like if a pet pees or poops, we have 2 minutes for that pee or poop to be cleaned. If it's not cleaned, their marks are dogged. So we have adequate housekeeping manpower in every clinic. So it's on the center manager and the front desk team to ensure all of those hygiene things are taken care of. Second thing is on the customer experience, right? How are customers feeling? What is the reviews that we're getting? All of that. Third thing, obviously sales is important, but we only give them targets on their scope of sales. That is on toys, treats, reminders for grooming, all of those things. Nobody today owns a target on diagnostics. Nobody owns a target on pharmacy. Nobody owns a target on surgeries. So those targets are not owned by anybody. It's a gray spot because people everybody says, okay, who's responsible for this number? Right? I'm responsible for that number. Right? It's on us to bring more and more leads into the more and more pet parents walk in. That overall clinic number will hit. Whereas the clinic team should just be focused on what they are doing. Doctors should be focused on giving great quality care. We hold them very, very responsible for compliance, right? Writing SOAP notes, sending out the reports, all of that. So their appraisals are based on compliance. Their appraisals are based on quality of care and the customer experience.
Wonderful.
So for us, customer experience is very important. What a pet parent feels after walking out of a Dr. Paws clinic is very important for us. So
Superb.
it was because for us, it's like if you do those things right, revenue will come. Revenue is a byproduct of it. Revenue should not be a metric that you chase.
Lovely. And what about the equipment?
So equipments, we use world-class equipment, I would say. Our ultrasounds are from GE. Our blood equipments are from Fuji and VetScan. So like all the equipments that we use in our clinic are kind of really reputed brands in their space, right? Because diagnostics is something we rely very heavily on, because a lot of people think people do diagnostics for more revenue, right? For more money. For us, how we do diagnostics is different. We do it for quality of care, standardization of care, right? You are a human, you come to a hospital, you express 10 things about you, right? I am having pain here, and it's only there when I'm pressing, and you can express what you are feeling and going through. Unfortunately, pet can't, right? For us to understand what's happening in their body, it is important to do some tests. Like a basic health check, to just check what's happening with the kidney and liver. Most, urea related diseases are the topmost diseases that impact dogs globally. And India is also the same. A lot of us, we think it's the skin, it's the gut, but the number one issues that most dogs face globally are related to renal and kidney. So, and how will you identify it? You can't unless you do a blood test. So that's why we tell our doctors, like when we don't have the targets, if a pet needs 2 tests to be done, do 2. You don't have to do 3 to meet your target, or you don't have to do 4. At the same time, you don't have to do 1. Right? You need to do 2 because you need to do what is right by the pet. The poor pet can't express, so it's you, like parent has come. It's your duty to convince the pet parent on why this is needed. This is not for revenue. This is actually for the pet well-being. So that's where our bedside manners come into place. Like we rely on communication as an important skill for our vets, because empathy is partly driven through communication, partly through your actions, how you speak. I can transactionally tell you, your dog has a heart issue, follow this prescription and do this test after 3 months. Done, right? I've did everything right. Or I can tell you, this is the issue, this is how a normal heart looks like, this is how your heart looks like, your pet's heart looks like. Don't worry, we can solve this. There are enough medication, but this is what the course you need to do. This is a 3-month course, this is a 6-month course, but every 3 months let's do a check-in. Right? Suddenly it builds that confidence to a pet parent that, okay, I am in safe hands. That is what we wanted to build.
Nice. Awesome. So you have technology in place, process in place, and latest equipments. Does investing so much allow you to scale?
See, I mean, that amount of capex is technically inhibiting, but we don't have to invest in every clinic, right? So how we look at expanding Dr. Paws is we have 3 models of clinics. There is a flagship clinic, which is technically around a 6,500 SFT. One we have in RMV, we're building another in Tanisandra right now. Has everything from hydrotherapy to all the latest equipment to everything. Then there are our hubs, which are our primary expansion today, which is Indiranagar, HSR, Jayanagar coming up, is where we do all of these, again, services that I spoke about, in that clinic, from surgeries to retail. Then we will have spokes, which are smaller clinics which will be focused primarily on OPDs, grooming, and retail. Will not have diagnostic equipment or surgical equipment, because if there is a diagnostic that needs to be done, we can always take a sample and ship it to one of our hubs, which would be usually 15-20 minutes away from the spoke. If a pet needs to undergo a surgery and it's not an everyday thing, right? Pet parents will be okay traveling for 15-20 minutes more than coming here to undergo a surgery. So that's how...
You also look after the transport?
I mean, we are starting ambulances. First week of December is when our first ambulance will start.
Wow.
Piloting in
with the siren and all that?
We again, like I said, today the biggest challenge we face is there are no regulations of how a pet ambulance should look like, right? If it's a human ambulance, then there are a lot of other licenses needed, which a pet hospital. So we're in the middle of figuring that out. Nice. By end of this week, we should get clarity on whether it will have a siren or not have a siren. But irrespective, the ambulance will start in first week of December with RMV as the base.
Nice.
And then we'll run it for 15-20 days to understand whether what is needed inside the ambulance. Today we have a hypothesis. Then we will start at scale, right? Wonderful. By March, most of Bangalore will have our ambulatory services available.
Nice. So Indiranagar is 1.5 years old now.
Yeah.
Is it breaking even?
Fortunately, yes. Month 6, we were profitable.
Wow.
All our 3 clinics have been profitable in our month 6. And we're looking at by month 22-23, we should have a payback of capex.
Wow. So that's a super scalable model.
Yes. So like one good thing that worked really well for us is the repeatability. Almost 70% of the people come back to Dr. Paws in a 4-month time. Right? If you have come back today, there's a 70% probability you will come back in 4 months' time.
So what are your consultation priced at?
We charge 500 rupees for our consult.
Compared to Cessna or any other clinics?
We are at least 10 to 15% cheaper than any other chain in Bangalore. Nice. We are about 10 to 20% costlier than the standalone clinics. Okay. Right, a standalone clinic will charge 400 rupees for a consult. We are charging 500. 500, wow. Any other chain charges somewhere between 600 to 750. We charge 500. All our prices, be it surgeries, any diagnostics or anything we do, is at least 10% cheaper than in any organized vet clinic.
Fantastic.
So we're not pricey. A lot of people have this misconception when they see the clinic. It looks
this
premium,
is such a fancy, yeah,
right? You know, the bill gonna go off the roofs and all of that. Contrary to that, we've realized pet care need not be expensive. So it's easily sustainable when you keep, the margins intact and everything intact by keeping an adequate pricing.
So we spoke about the veterinary practice, right? Most of the doctors don't get to really practice care for dogs and cats during their education, right? So when they join you, do you have any program in-house for doctors to get trained with the process?
A lot. See, one thing is veterinary, the BVSC course that designed in India is so generic. It caters to large animals like buffaloes, cows, goats, cattle. It caters to milk, right? It caters to small animals. In a 4-year degree or a 5-year degree, they learn about everything.
Okay.
And after they come out, almost 30-35% of them go into large animal practice. Then almost another 30% of them go into, like in Bangalore, in Karnataka, they go to KMF. Milk Federation, because they have taluka level jobs. It's easy for them to stay near their hometowns. That leaves with another 40%. Now in that, people will go to nutrition, join the pet food brands. People, around 20-25% come to small animal practice. That number fortunately is increasing right now because more and more opportunities are coming. 5 years
But also
back,
there's a burnout, right, for doctors?
So obviously, so what happened, like if you take 5 years back, how a typical clinic used to be, right? They used to be staffed with 2 doctors, right? And they see around 30, 35 appointments in a day. That
35
means,
appointments.
yeah, that means plus surgeries plus this thing. Even today, if you see like some of the standalone clinics that are doing well, right? They will have 2 or 3 doctors, they see 60, 70, 80 appointments. It's a burnout.
That's about 30 minutes an appointment.
That assuming everybody comes after each other. Usually the reality is afternoon hours are lull. Everybody comes in the morning 9 to 11, everybody comes in the evening 5 to 7.
That's about 10 to 11 hours of working for doctor.
10 hours of working for doctors in most places.
Most places.
And then they see in that 2-hour window, they see around 20 cases. That means you're seeing 10, per every pet you're giving around 10 minutes. So that leads to burnout. So where there we said, and very few people, coming back to the question on the course, right? Only 20-25% of the people used to come to small animal practice. Now it has become to 30-35% because more and more opportunities have come up in the small animal practice. But when they come in, their knowledge is not ready to cater to a modern pet parent, more like in terms of technical care or in terms of empathy and compassion, right? So for us, then they undergo, depending on, so we again, just now we started hiring off campus. Earlier, everybody we used to hire were people with experience. We realized we need to build that pool of doctors for our 8th, 9th, 10th or 12th launches. So we've started hiring off campus also this time to train. So if it's a doctor with greater than 2 years of clinical experience, they undergo a 3-month training, right? In that training, they'll undergo first few days is on customer experience, where they fully understand how we are different, how we should treat our customer. Then they undergo a full set of technical training. So we have around 32 L&D modules, which are very technical in nature, on how do you treat a parvo, right? How do you treat this disease? How do you treat emergencies? So each at a disease level, we have those SOPs. We want everybody to do it in that way, right? Because now for a disease like parvo, there are 10 ways of treating. Everybody has their own trial and error. So, but we want Dr. Paw's way of treating. So that we have invested very heavily in terms of Girish's bandwidth before we launched. When we hired Girish in March, our first clinic opened in July end. So that 4 months that we had was Girish creating just those SOPs.
Nice.
So now they've obviously improvised over time and came to a certain shape and form. So now all our doctors follow that. And apart from that, there is a 1 month of shadowing. They just shadow one of the senior vets, preferably a head vet of the clinic. That also I'll talk about. We have a set hierarchy for our vets, right? So they shadow a head vet, understand how do we do consults, how do we treat people with empathy and compassion. After that, they start looking at cases independently, but with a shadow in the room. It's not like they're directly jumping. So we want to be fully comfortable. Okay, they are ready to take their first consults. So they undergo a 3-month training. But if it's a new journey or people with 1 year experience, they undergo a 6-month training. What do they do? After they undergoing the basic classroom trainings, 1 month is fully for IPD. So all our clinics are 24/7. So
24/7?
All 3 clinics are 24/7.
Wow.
So they spend a lot of time in IPD, studying what is needed to give IPD care under a doctor who is taking care of IPD. 1 month they do surgery shadowing. That means they are there in the room along with the surgeon and the assistant surgeon for every surgery that happens. So they understand that. 1 month is a night shift. So along with the night vet, they are there assisting the night vet in that. Then there is 1 month where they do OPD shadowing. So they are assigned a mentor. So they shadow that mentor in every OPD that mentor does. So this is 4 months of training. Then there will be an assessment that would be done at the end of that 4 months. So we realize, okay, this doctor is good at these 3 things, needs improvement on these 2 things. Then the next 2 months is curated at a doctor level for, okay, these are the improvements Dr. X needs, these are the improvements Dr. Y needs. While the first 4 months is similar for everybody who joins in. So
Wow.
that makes us ready when we put the doctor in front of a customer. We want them to be fully ready because they are representing our brand, and more importantly, they are dealing with lives. So
Wow, fantastic.
that is something we take really stringent about on the.
But is it scalable with so much of 3 months of training for the doctors?
Basically, one, I would not say good thing, but the pay packages in this field are not so much like a tech or something where you can't, like your P&L can't take, salary. So today we're very clear when we are hiring, we tell a lot of people also, you join, after 6 months is when you get your hike, right? So because in that time we try to keep the salary same as what they have used to get, or maybe a small hike versus what they used to get. Their major hike actually comes after they join and they're ready.
Okay.
Right? Because that also keeps us, in the months where they're not generating revenue, keeps our, we're not burning so much. So it's kind of scalable. With bigger and bigger we become, it should become easier because then we should be able to absorb.
Yes.
So even today what we do, like, our next 2 clinics are about 45 days away from launch. But we've already had the full team. The full team is already in our clinics. The head vets are already in our clinics from 2 months. Because head vets are very, very important for us. Right now, looking at how the hierarchy we have, right? We say people like vets, you join us as a vet, then you become a shift head. That means every shift, because we're running 24/7, that every shift has a senior vet who is available. Then there is a clinic head who is the head vet of that clinic. Then today we don't have that layer, but it's part of our hierarchy. We create a cluster head, somebody who practices in 3-4 clinics in that cluster, grooming the head vets. So we plan to bring that layer in by April or May when we are about 7 in Bangalore to bring 2 cluster heads. And then we don't have a city head today. Girish is doubling as a city head and then a chief vet. So because we are only one city, Girish is doubling as both a CBO as a city head.
Okay.
So he takes care of all the vets in Bangalore. But when we launch Hyderabad, which we are planning to by March or April
Next year.
So then Girish will not have bandwidth to manage 2 cities. So we will have one city head who takes care of Bangalore. So that means there is a fixed growth path for vets when they join in. Right? You don't have to join as a vet, stay as a vet for life. With time, your responsibilities increase and your salaries also will obviously increase.
Super.
And one other thing that's interesting that we have done, I don't think, I've not heard at least anybody else doing, we have ESOPs for our vets.
Oh, so early.
Like we have, because for people who we realize are valuable to a company, we want them to grow with us.
All the vets?
Not all the vets. So like when we did our appraisal, we've realized around 15-20% of our vets, 15-20% of our workforce actually, got ESOPs. Our clinic heads and our Girish already has. While they're joining, we offer them at the time of joining only. But even for vets, we started giving ESOPs because they should feel, with company growing now, because we have done 2 rounds, right? They've seen the valuation jump, right? They should feel we are growing, right? There is something in it for me because they trusted us when we were at 0.
Fantastic.
So we looked at that as a good retention layer. Obviously, it comes with a challenge because none of the vets were available. Like, none of the vets understood what an ESOP mean. We had to sit, explain, this is an ESOP, this is how it works, this is how, because the field has been such where people value like a 10,000 rupee more in hand versus a 2 lakh worth of ESOP, which will multiply, multifold from where it is today.
Wow.
So
now
people understood the value ESOPs. The new round helped understand. Okay, suddenly they realized, okay, this was this back then. Now it has become this.
This episode is like a masterclass on how to build vet clinics. What's the future plan, Rakesh? Are you open for franchisee?
No, we don't want to franchisee, at least for next few years.
Next few years.
Because we will not have full control over the service levels, right? Because what is important to us might not be the same thing that's important to a franchisee partner.
True.
So that's why we will open
You feel it's too
company-owned.
early or you're not ready yet?
I mean, unless we feel we have playbooks that are foolproof and will not fail even if somebody else operates it, we will not even think about it. That is the time where we will think, okay, now we might be ready and we will start. There have been multiple people who have inquired. A lot of pet parents asked, can we franchise? There was a pet parent who came all the way from Bangalore to get a surgery done. They said, can we open Dr. Paws in Bangalore? They will franchise it. But yeah, we don't want to dilute on the service levels at this point of time. So it's not even on our mind.
If someone has a real estate and they just want to partner with you on that?
See, if they have a real estate, we can always think about, how we can do a profit share where the clinic is owned by us, operated by us, right? But instead of paying a rent, we can maybe think of how can we do some level of profit share.
You open for such discussions?
We've not thought about it. If there is a good, really hot property that comes and we can discuss about it. Okay. So far, we are happy paying that monthly rent. It gives us visibility. It gives them visibility. All three clinics have followed a fixed pattern of how they behaved in terms of ramp up and all of that. So now we have a fair control of what do we need to do pre-launch, during launch, and post-launch in terms of bringing clinics up to a certain revenue trajectory. So that is there. So far we are happy in our current models. The future for us is basically today clinics are our core pillar of Dr. Paws. So we want to expand clinics. So we're opening 2 more immediately plus another 2 more under consideration. Once Bangalore, we have 6 or 7 in Bangalore, we'll start focusing on Hyderabad, then in Pune. So that means clinics will expand. Parallelly to that, we are trying to expand our business lines, right? One thing we're launching from first week of December is basically on vet at home.
I was going to ask you that, yeah.
How do we build like a separate vertical that runs purely on vet at home? Then another thing that we are currently working on, again, it's too early to talk about, is how do we do our own products, right? Not like food or treats or anything, but mainly from a supplement standpoint. Because having looked at a lot of supplements that we prescribe or we use it internally as well, we've realized there is a severe gap in good quality of supplements in the market.
With the pharma experience.
Yeah, with the pharma experience now, with a lot of vets who know what they are doing. So we thought it's something that we can actually get into. So that's under consideration. Maybe early next year is when we will pick up that charter to see how it goes.
I think home consultation will do really good in a city like Bangalore because moving pets is so difficult.
And we are convenience seeking, right?
Yeah.
Like now a lot of people stay in societies. Every society has a supermarket. But people still Blinkit, people still Zepto. So it's a dangerous sign. Yeah. But we are becoming too convenience seeking than needed. But that's the market reality, right? That's the truth. That's the truth. So if you don't want to do it, somebody else will come and do it.
True.
So that's why we're launching. But when we launch Vet at Home, it's been in the pipeline for 3 months now. I can for sure tell you that this is going to be the best vet at home experience. Like everything, like small things like what do they carry to, what time ambulance will come in, what we'll have in ambulance. Everything is being planned in a way where it's not like, okay, we just go do a vaccination, come back, or it's just doing there because there is an opportunity. When we do, we wanted to create a difference in that. So it's being planned really well.
Wow, fantastic. Wishing you the best for that.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the show. I think we've covered everything, and what a beautiful journey.
Thank you so much.
And within a year and a half, almost a year and a half, 1 year, 8 months, you've proved that a good process and good implementation of technology and bringing in empathy towards the clinic has really worked. Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming to the show, and all the best, Rakesh.
Thank you so much.